hello, Internet. This is me, DP Knudten, for another edition of BOOKWARD BOUND, my 301-day journey of consecutive live streams as I work toward finishing, creating, designing, and getting ready to self-publish a brand new book by January 1st, 2021. I'm doing it, most of it, live and in real time via these live streams. And so here I am on a Saturday evening at 9:10 p.m. Central Daylight Time here in the U.S. of A. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to head right now into the application I'm using to write the book. Not outline it, not design the cover, but actually write the words that will make up every section in the book. And that application is called Scrivener. And it looks a little something like this. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so it in some ways it's got stuff in common with a lot of different word processing style programs, but it has a lot of power over here in this column, or represented by this column, when it comes to building a book. Because when you open a new project, it'll have a lot of these things already plugged in. Things like forward, chapter sections, et cetera, et cetera. And then you can add stuff to it. A dedication page. How simple is that? Insert dedication here. A contents page, that can be a table of contents that you can add later, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So even a copyright page, which very simply has stuff like this. I'm getting a little warm, so I'm taking off my little jacket because we're getting to that time of year where it's really hard to gauge what's appropriate to wear, especially if you have a basement office like I do. Anyway, enough of that. I actually need to do some writing tonight, so I want to do that. And since I don't have anything planned to write right now, I'm going to look at all the red flags that you can see right here, because these are sections that I know I want to write about, but I haven't done any writing on. So I think I'm going to work on this one because I know exactly what I want to talk about, more or less. The idea that brands commodities are bought for the lowest possible price, but brands are purchased at a premium. I can show you examples of this all day long, but I really need people to understand that there's a value to branding yourself no matter what you do. Let's say you're like me, you're a writer, but you're a nameless writer. If I were a named writer, like, I don't know, Stephen King, do you think that guy gets bigger book advances than some unknown first-time writer or something like that? Absolutely. Why? Because they're a known quantity. But more than that, they have a brand. You know, Stephen King, he doesn't write a lot of romance novels. He writes thrillers. You know what you're going to get when you get Stephen King. Sometimes he'll surprise you up with a Shawshank Redemption or something like that. But for the most part, he's in that kind of thriller/horror genre style of writing, even though he doesn't necessarily always write in that style. But anyway, he gets a lot more because he's a name brand as a writer. Well, I'm going to make that point here in this section, brand versus commodity. If you're not the one, you're the other. What do you, assuming you haven't built, created a personal brand yet, have in common with a pork belly? You're both commodities. that means you're exactly the same as anyone else who performs the basic tasks associated with your job or career function. And that goes double for anyone with a bunch of acronyms after their name. I want to see if I can set up in Scrivener. I think I can set up preferences for things like type size. So I'm going to look at that for a second here. Startup, saving, all that citations, author information. See, this is stuff I should set up. Saving, after 2 seconds of inactivity, autosave. Yeah, I'm cool with that. The more autosaving, the better. Scratch pad. I don't even know what that is. Shared templates. No. Citations. Separators. Services. Automatic quit warnings. Nope. Editing. Maybe it's appearance. I want to be able to set up formatting. Main formatting. Notes. Notes font, main text formatting. This is where I would definitely set it up. So it's telling me let's see if I can do this. Preferences. Use formatting in current editor. Main text formatting for new documents. Yeah, that works. Notes font. Inspector comments font. Different inline footnotes. All right, so that's cool. That's all I wanted it to do. The fact is, but wait. Can hear the medical doctors, lawyers, engineers, advanced developers, certified contents and any number of other individuals scream, period. I spent years in school, got advanced degrees, and got advanced degrees and spent untold thousands of dollars for that. MD, JD, PhD, CPA, EIO. Yeah, I get it. It hurts. But really, it hurts. But if you've got the that just puts you into a more exclusive bucket filled with commodity. People just like you. And that makes you a commodity. Just like the pork bellies sold on the Chicago Board of Exchange. That's what it's called, right? And this is where I get to do my instant fact checking by opening up a browser. In one of my other screens and typing in Chicago Board of Trade. That's what it is. Options Board of Trade. World's oldest futures and an options exchange. Trade. Okay, this is where I go plus plus. No, plus plus. And the worst part, commodities are bought for the lowest possible price. But brands, they are purchased at a premium. So I'm going to increase the type size on that to 13, just to give a little interest on the page. I'm going to tighten it up though. They are purchased at a premium. Now, I know I've written somewhere else around here that not there. Bingo. Brands are purchased at a premium. See, I've already... Yeah. I've already started writing about this in another section. And the worst part, commodities are bought for the lowest possible price, but brands, they are purchased at a premium. Bingo. So this is no Palatino 13. Palatino 13. Why do they look different? I don't know. When they call you. Meetups. Someone. Let's put a long dash there. In the middle. Get rid of that period. Yeah, so I'm working on this book. And if you have any questions, one person who's watching this, whoever that kind person is, go ahead and put a comment in the box below in the comment area. If you're, because I'm live streaming this to YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and Twitch. And all of those allow you to comment on what you're seeing. Well, that's where you can ask me a question if you have any questions. If you want to make a comment, whatever, just type it there. I mean, I'm doing this, I guess, mostly for myself, so I actually work on this thing. But I'm also here to perhaps answer your questions that may relate to how you could do something like this. Or you might want to ask questions about what this book is about. The book is entitled Nonfiction Brand, Discovering, Crafting, and Communicating the Completely True, Completely You brand you already are. And it's all based on branding best practices that I've learned over my 27 plus year career in advertising and marketing. And I'm applying it here specifically to personal branding and small business brands, which frankly are the same thing. Shh, don't tell anyone. But anyway, I'm reading through this. Get off your commodity and start branding you and your business. Try that one. I think you'll like the fit. Okay, so this section, brand versus commodity, is actually part of that. So I get to kill this. Move to trash. Yep, I'm moving that to trash because it's actually part of this. And this is 2000, hold on, sorry. This is 2,245 words as currently written. That's not bad. It's not, I don't think I need to be bold here. A logo is not a brand. Let's go to nonfic. Oh my God, that's funny spelling. I'm going to slap a TM on it. Why? Because I am a TM whore. Just a little bit. I like my TMs a little much. Well, there's a font panel. Yeah, I want that font panel open. Oh, there we go. See, I can do stuff like this. Or I should be able. Typography. No. I'll worry about this later. Yeah. Because I want to superscript it. And yeah, I'll superscript it later. When I say that non-fiction branding is about being completely true and completely you about who you are, what you do, how you do it. I mean it. I mean it. So this will be 13. I mean it. Branding. I think a lot of people have a bad opinion about the word brand. To some, it's just a way that companies force you to pay more. Pay more. And far too many times that's completely true. Here's a true story that I'm going to lightly fictionalize just so I don't get myself into any legal trouble. Why would I? There is a certain big box membership retailer that has a very good house brand portfolio of products covering everything from packaged goods to beverages and even clothing. Let's just call this house brand Mirkwood. Anytime you're browsing the aisles of this very popular store, especially on Saturdays when they have samples all over the place. They have free samples all over the place. Anytime you are browsing the aisles of this very popular store, much so my family just leave it at that. You'll see Mirkwood this and Mirkwood that right next consulted among the regular top brands you'd expect to find. You'd expect, period. The example I'm talking about is their very high quality Mirkwood vodka. I have it on very good expert authority that Mirkwood vodka is actually a top shelf premium brand of vodka named something like Fay Roost. So I want to say goose. Fay Moose. Fay Moose. It's the exact same product in a different bottle and at a lower price. And that kind of thing happens all the time. Making some question the value of brands all together. That's not the kind of brand I'm writing about. This book, the brand this book is about. Why? Term branding. Describe a wholly authentic and true the cover. Just read the subtitle on the cover. When I say that nonfiction branding is about being completely true and completely you, true, about it. I mean it. But another way to think about it that may help explain things further. It's a formula, but don't worry. There will no math involved. All right, boom, boom. Your value plus your values. Nonfiction brand. All right. There we go. Guess what? I've advanced my book. I've advanced my book tonight. Only 300 words, but hey, you should never say only 300 words. You should say 300 words, but it's laid a nice foundation for this section, and I'm going to chew on the rest of it on what to write about or how to continue the arguments I'm doing here. And that's pretty good for a Saturday night. I'm feeling okay about that. So I'm going to be really fine with saying, hey, I'm going to end this episode of Bookward Bound having advanced my book forward a little bit. Cool. So anyway, Nonfiction Brandversity is a free Facebook group, you know, the logo up in the corner there. A free Facebook group that I have. I'd love to invite you to. Just search Nonfiction Brandversity on Facebook, ask to join, and you are in just as soon as you answer 3 questions to prove you're not a bot. I only want carbon-based life forms in the Nonfiction Brandversity Facebook group. Thank you very much. Excuse me. Also, earlier today, I edited episode 89 of the Nonfiction Brand podcast, which comes out every Monday. And this episode's a really interesting one where I talk to a friend of mine named Egan Heath, who is on the direct response side of marketing. And so we have a really interesting conversation going back and forth with me being the brand guy and him being the direct response guy. I think it makes for a really interesting episode, and he'll also be in next week's episode as well, the second half of our conversation. So check that out too. You can listen to the Nonfiction Brand podcast wherever you get your podcasts for free. So check that out. And also, I'll be doing these live streams every day. Yeah, I made that commitment every day for 301 days. And I think this might be episode 44. I think I said the other night, I think I was on episode 50, but I was off. I think this is 44. But still, 44 consecutive days doing a live stream as I work toward getting my book done. That's pretty cool. You know, I wanted to see if I could do it. I was inspired by a story that I will be writing about in the book that I heard from my friends in Alex and Todd in Sydney, Australia, about their friend Christian, who is a golf pro. But I'm not going to tell too much of that story right now because I'm going to have him on the podcast, so you'll want to check that out. But I also want to write about it in the book. So if you want to hear that story, check back sometime for one of these Bookward Bounds. And, you know, generally this is around the time of night or, you know, evening that I do these live streams. So, you know, that's when you can more or less expect to see my smiling face. Or my I'm too tired to do anything face. Or my I'm resigned to do this just to keep my streak alive face. Anyway, I'm DP Knudten, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Hey, theme music, take us on out. All right, you guys take care. Have a good night. And stay healthy and safe during these weird COVID-19 days. Bye-bye.